So it's officially been 6 years since my spiritual awakening journey. Obviously, somebody's very excited in our neighbor's house. And after coming off the mountains, it was a very strange experience. And I thought I'd today have a little casual chat with you guys. Maybe we'll go inside because he's a little bit noisy today. But I wanted to have a casual chat with you guys because I know some people, they go through a spiritual awakening and they don't know what to expect. Is it normal that you feel like nobody understands you? And is it normal that you feel your third eye throbbing and some strange stuff like that? And what actually happened up in the Himalayas, and what's life been like after receiving the blessing from my spiritual master? It's been a crazy ride. It's been a crazy journey, and you've probably seen, those who've been following me since 2018 on this channel when I first started. There's been a lot of changes, and I feel like a lot of human beings are afraid of change because it's the fear of the unknown. What may happen if they change? And a lot of influencers also fear change because they think, if I change, then will my popularity go down, or will my fans still like me, or is this the content that you want to hear? And these things cross the human mind, but it never crosses the soul's mind, because your soul knows that you're infinite and you're here for a much greater purpose than just to try to get more views for a YouTube video or something, Anyway, welcome to my home here in LA. My favorite piece is the floating stairs. I love high ceilings, and that's what we got in Dubai as well. You've probably seen our Dubai house from many of the videos. And I think this kind of brings me on to one of the first things, which I think a lot of people have a misconception when it comes to spirituality and wealth. A lot of the time when things like, nice houses are shown or nice cars are shown, I think people think that, oh, this person's not spiritual. If you're spiritual, why are you chasing materials, or you're stuck in material world? Those who are chasing material or stuck in material world, they are stuck. But it doesn't mean you cannot have it. You can have it and you don't need to be chasing it. If you have it and you don't need it, is that not what God is? God has everything, but God needs nothing. I think it's like I think people automatically see luxury or quality and material world, and then they get very confused with, oh, that's not allowed in spiritual world. But it took some time to come to acceptance that it's okay. You live your life how you want to live it, because that is what spiritual abundance means. And I think essentially your soul craves spiritual freedom, to become a free spirit once again. And the part of the journey that really changed my entire life is my connection with God. And I know the moment I say this, some people are going to say, oh, this is some religious thing, or, is this Christianity, or is this Hinduism, or what is he talking about? But I'm open to that type of debate because it's my truth. And I always say all truths are true. Like, whatever you believe in, I will never say that that's not true or that's not real, because I believe everything you believe in to be real. Like, that's just how it is, And when I went on the spiritual awakening journey, one of the biggest realizations was through third eye dimension traveling. That might sound a little bit crazy to some of you, but I used to do some lucid dreaming stuff and astral traveling stuff, lightly, where things will be vivid sometimes, Sometimes I'll have more clarity when I wake up, and sometimes it'll just be a bit of a blur. It's kind of like, hey, I witnessed something, but I don't quite know what it is. Or I feel something, but I don't quite know what it is. And I think what Grandmaster Aksha did was, when we did especially the Tratak meditation, which was with the candlelight, and there was 9 lights around me, where he set the whole perimeter with that ritual. And the easiest way to say is I blasted off to space. Like space meaning space and time does not exist. And you blast into a different dimension. And basically that's kind of what happened, which made me see a lot of things, positive and negative, actually. I think everyone thinks that spiritual awakening, everything is just beautiful, and that's what everyone wants. But your mind and your vessel, your soul needs to be ready for it, because I also, as much as I've seen beautiful manifestations and powerful things, I also seen suffering. I also seen death and, all the things that come in this world of duality. And back then was just before COVID hit, and before all the forest fires in Australia, and before the earthquake in Philippines, and before the whole Black Lives Matter movement, and before all the chaos that happened. And I remember coming out of the mountains, it was quite hard to adapt, because imagine you've just been traveling through all these different dimensions and you see all this truth. And then suddenly you're like, oh my God, I think I'm supposed to tell the world about this. So my first event was actually in San Diego. I don't know how many of you were actually at that event, but I was like some crazy guy who just came out of the caves in the Himalayas, and I was talking all this, like what other people would think is nonsense, Everyone's like, all positivity, and suddenly I say to everyone, the dark ages are here. And people are like, why are you saying that, And it was very hard for me to explain, because I seen it. And it wasn't like I think it may be true. It was like a knowing. And so going from that to then given the responsibility of spiritual master by that blessing from my spiritual teacher, it was a huge responsibility, But I knew that is the chapter of my life that was important. Like it needed to be there. We always say, man makes his plan and God has his plan for you, because I never thought myself to be a spiritual master. I always thought I was a spiritual gangster, And so coming out from there to then being completely alien to everyone in the whole world, because I'm just getting all these flashes from what I've seen, and I'm trying to tell people, and then learning to be human again. That's been an interesting journey. I don't know if you ever felt that before. Like, I feel life in this human reality is much easier when we learn to adapt and become a chameleon. You see, I see a lot of spiritual people when they get all these downloads and intuition and hug trees and do all these strange, weird and wonderful practices. And you try to tell some people that you care about around you, and they don't get it, and they worry about you, and you get into arguments because of it. Then you start to question whether or how you should embark on this path fully when the people around you don't get you. Do you really disassociate and disconnect with them? Or do you learn to use the adaptable skill that God has given us? That ability to go into different environments and put on or wear different hats with different personalities, so that you're not getting in people's way, and you're able to keep the people around you at peace, and you're able to still speak a common language that is required to satisfy the people that you love and care about, because you don't want them to worry. But at the same time, knowing yourself fully, and still setting those boundaries. I think striking that balance is probably the toughest thing on this journey. And I'm happy to say that I've built up that resilience, or maybe better to say, I know my soul well enough now to not care what other people think, but at the same time be able to adapt at any given time and be okay with my multiple identities, being the multiple dimensional being that we are. You know, it's okay to sometimes be serious. It's okay sometimes to do crazy things. It's okay sometimes to joke. It's okay to do whatever you want to do and not be abide by one identity. And I think that's where most people are stuck, because your spirit is infinite, and you're in this human world. We live in this limited shell, and this is my identity. But instead of that, if you can set your soul free, is to fully embrace every dimensional being version of you. And this is what I encourage everybody to, I won't say be, but I would say thrive for. Because I don't think you'll get it straight away in one day. But once you fully become whoever you want to be at any given time, and have the flexibility to change, because change is the only constant, and not care what other people think about that, then I'm telling you, you'll feel free, and your soul will feel free, and your soul will feel so happy, so happy. It's the most liberating and soul fulfilling thing you could ever do, is to honor yourself, and not the identity self, to honor your soul self. That's what I felt called to share with you guys today. And I don't know if anyone can relate to what I've shared today, and I don't know what you feel about this style of content, just having a chit chat, like raw spiritual conversation. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Prayers for all of you. Thank you.